Today we have the newest One Piece SH Figuarts release, Egghead Luffy, and this release is one that I was pretty worried about when I first seen the original promos, because they were underwhelming and revealed many things to be concerned about with this figure. The first thing being the skirt area. Will it get in the way? I mean, it didn't seem too limited in the promos, but you never know. The second thing that had me concerned was the boots. Like, will they move okay, and can he stand fine with them? Then lastly, the lack of accessories. Does it bring this figure's value down? So yeah, as y'all can see, I have a lot of skepticisms with this release. But thankfully, we do not have to wait any longer for our answers, as this figure is now here, so let's get this review started. Starting off with the packaging, I think the way it's designed is clean. It's red and white with the One Piece map theme that every release in this line gets. We can see some of the figure inside and this lonely ass Luffy faceplate. It's kinda sad and funny at the same time. Bro's really just chilling by himself. And it's honestly kinda making me mad seeing this much empty space. They could have put something else here, you know? Then we can see some nice promo images of the figure and the set's name on the front as well. Here's the top of the box and has a signature shot cutout that this line gets. Here's each side of the box. Also, with this side, it's kind of funny how they follow their template of it being the side that shows off how many faces he comes with, and it's just these two. Then here's the bottom, and then here's the back of the box. It showcases the figure fully, and it even mentions that you can use the faces from previous Luffys with this guy. Oh boy, ain't that sure awesome? You gotta spend $70 to use these faces with this figure. Yeah, nah, this actually makes me mad that they are doing this. Like, if you aren't aware by now, this figure only comes with 2 faceplates, and they're actually faceplates that we've already sort of gotten with the Romance Song Luffy. Except these are a little less stylized, but I think I prefer the way these look more, so that is good. But still, it's a reused expression. Like, they couldn't have just thrown in 2 more faces of something we haven't gotten at least. I mean, I get it. We already have so many Luffy faceplates that can be used with this guy, but there are some of you who might want to start collecting the One Piece line with this figure and are going to get conned into buying other figures just to get Luffy faces you desire. It's not right. Also, it's funny how they use the worst Luffy faceplate ever to promote that you can buy another Luffy to swap faces with. Like, if anything, this alone should turn you off from the idea. Especially when this Luffy costs the same as the other 2 Luffys, and comes with less stuff. Like, as I've said, he pretty much comes with 2 reused faceplates. At least they do look good and are good expressions to have. Also, I know some of y'all are curious about how to swap the faces because of this little earpiece he has. Well, it's pretty simple. You just take the earpiece off and then swap the face how you normally do, and then put it back on. And this works well, and I really like this. And yes, it works with every single Luffy faceplate we have gotten so far. I'm going to just show a few of the swaps, as doing them all would definitely be overkill. Then, it comes with 3 pairs of interchangeable hands, it comes with 2 fisted hands, 2 open grabby-like hands, and 2 wide open hands. It's a decent selection, and no issues with them, as they do look good and are easy to swap. But I would have at least liked one holding something to him, so that Luffy can hold his meat. Hey, what I say, not that meat, this one. I mean, you can use the Romance Dawn hand, and that works, but he ain't got a glove on, so it just ain't right to me. Then, I don't know if I should call this an accessory or not, but he does come with a hat hanging option, so that's cool. It looks fine, and it's pretty much the same as the other hat hanging options we've got so far. And that means it can work with your other SHF Luffys as well, and that is it for the accessories. To cost the same as previous Luffys and other SHF releases, but to come with less, stinks. I'm not a fan. Because 1, feels like they were trying to take advantage of us, especially trying to promote that you gotta buy other Luffys for faces. And 2, feels like they are testing the waters on giving less. I'm not having it. Like, there's plenty of empty space in this box. He could have came with something else, like maybe a hockey arm or something. Or maybe a stand, since he does have these flight boots, so he can fly in the air. But no, he doesn't come with those. And honestly, whenever I pose this Luffy, I legit feel so limited. Because if you only have this figure and no other One Piece SHFs, then you are extremely held back with the posing options you can have. So this is very frustrating to me, especially for $35. But maybe they put some of the budget into the look of this guy, as he does have a bunch of new parts and engineering. This Luffy looks really damn good. Tamashii really killed it when it comes to capturing his look that he had in the Egghead arc, as this figure is extremely accurate to the source. The sculpt work is great, as they gave him plenty of neat little detailing, such as the way his collar area looks and the border area surrounding it. And then the same can be said for his sleeves, and I really like how on his left arm we can see the little Vega logo. Then it has the little yellow lines of his jacket, and it also has a Special Science Group logo on the bottom of the skirt, and on his back has number 163. Then under his skirt, we can see his shorts are nicely sculpted and resemble the Onigashima Luffy's, but these are better, and you might wonder why. Well, they actually included the little flap on the back of his pants so he can get more knee range, and it works wonderfully. Very glad they finished this. Also, these legs are a little bit smaller than Onagashima's, and that's probably so they can fit in the skirt area better. Then his boots look good, and you can even move this little thingy, so that's cool. Also, there is detailing on the bottom, and he can stand fine on them, so don't worry about that. So yeah, the detailing is nice with this guy. And then what else is nice is the finish and paintwork he has. He has a matte finish on his jacket, and it's great, and I like how they left the boot shiny. Then, the paintwork is done pretty cleanly everywhere. Like, the only area that is sloppy on my copy is right here on the jacket seam, as there's some yellow bleeding into the rib. But, that's the only area I've noticed so far. Overall, the look is great, despite the minor sloppy painted area, and some of the mold and breakoff marks I'm just now seeing on the back of his legs and boots. Now, those are minor QC errors to the major QC issue my figure has, and it's with his shoulder joint. The right shoulder joint on mine will not stay together. It keeps splitting apart. And at first I thought, oh well, it's just an easy fix, you know? Just disassemble the arm and take the split joint out and put it back on. Seems easy enough. Wrong! It doesn't work because it does not want to stay on at all. It's literally so infuriating. Now hopefully it's only an issue with my copy, but to check this, let's see if the second copy I have is like this. And well, it's actually fine. So that's psych! It's also bad on this one. Like, what the heck? Are you serious? This is just ass. Now, the second copy's arm actually does somewhat stay on when you fix it, but it still comes apart pretty easily. So yeah, this sucks and has actually made me not want to pose this guy at all, as his arm will fall off and it's just so annoying and tedious to deal with. Now, I haven't had an issue with the left arm yet. Who knows what might happen, but for now, it's fine. So I really think it's just the right arm with this release. So please be careful when moving your Luffy's arms around. Hopefully I just got extremely bad luck and the other copies in the world aren't like this, but with the way his shoulder joint is designed, I doubt it. So I asked anyone if they had the same issue, and there's been plenty of people saying they do. So yeah, you just got to be careful and get lucky, and I'd probably recommend lubricating the joint up some to help fight this. At least the rest of this figure doesn't have any QC issues, as it does move fine and smooth. And honestly, the articulation overall to me is surprisingly not horrible either, so let's take a look at it now. This Luffy's articulation to me is honestly pretty good, as he can hit some cool dynamic poses pretty easily. But despite that, he still does have some design choices that I don't like. To begin with, his head can look a decent bit upwards, which is good because I was worried that his hood was going to limit it some, but it doesn't. Now, ironically, he really doesn't look that far downwards because of his hood. Then, his head can look side to side and gets a good amount of tilt all around. Now for his shoulder area, by now, y'all should know I don't like it on this figure. I mean, it sort of works because the arms can go this far upwards and they can cross over one another somewhat well, but this design just isn't it for this figure. And I know, the other Luffys had the same style of joint, but with them it just did feel janky like this, and it sure as heck didn't have a joint snap apart anytime you wanted to move an arm. Also, they could have covered up the exposed joint area better, as it looks weird, Rebel Tech-ish. So yeah, the shoulders on this guy overall stink to me, as I really feel like they could have done them better. Or at least tooled them right, because I'm legit scared to move his arms around, as I feel like they could snap apart at any moment because of how they are set up. But I'm tired of talking about these stank shoulders, so let's carry on with articulation. He has a bicep swivel, single jointed elbows that bend past 90 degrees, which is fine, but I still don't see why he can't have double jointed elbows, but at least the range really ain't that bad. And then he has good wrist articulation. Then his torso articulation is pretty good, as it moves around well in all areas, so that's nice. Then his waist is the same way, as it moves great in all areas as well. And then he gets this much total forwards crunch, which isn't bad, but backwards there isn't much going on. Also, when you do lean him forwards, it does reveal this figure's branding, so there's that. Now for the legs, because I know everyone is curious or not, whether they are ass or completely hindered by the skirt, and I can gladly say that they aren't bad, and the skirt really doesn't get in the way at all for me. It's a soft plastic material, so it doesn't hinder anything, and the fact it's separated with different flaps helps with this as well. So the legs kick this far forwards, this far backwards, and then this far outwards. Now sadly, Luffy still doesn't have a thigh swivel, which I really don't see why they can't do it, especially since these are a new set of legs. But I guess we can't have everything. Then his knees are single jointed, so they can bend a little past 90 degrees, which I still don't like, but the boots actually help with this lack of bend, as they can articulate to give some extra range. And it isn't just there, they can wiggle and rotate all around, which is great. Then his lower boot area also moves around pretty well, as it can move and rotate all around, which is actually good because I didn't think they were going to have this much movement. So overall, the articulation to me is pretty good. It's not the best or craziest ever, as there are definitely many things I don't like about it, but I can't lie and say it can't pose, because you can definitely pose this guy pretty well, which is cool. And then what else is cool is having this guy next to some other figures. This figure looks good next to your other One Piece SHFs. First, here he is next to the Onigashima and Romance on Luffy. It's cool seeing each of Luffy's different looks. Also, you can swap around their parts, so like you can put the Onigashima Luffy's torso on these legs, or you can put the Egghead legs on Romance on Luffy. So honestly, there's plenty of swaps to do, which is cool. Also, here's Egghead Luffy with normal legs, and this just seems wrong. Then, here he is next to Nami and Zoro. Here he is next to Ace and Sabo. Here he is next to Kaido. Here he is next to Kid and Law. Here he is next to Shanks. Then here he is next to SHF Naruto. Here he is next to SHF Bakugo and Deku. Here he is next to SHF King Gojo. Here he is next to Demoniacal Fit Goku. And lastly, here he is next to Storm Collectibles Yujiro Hama. So pretty much, this is an okay release in my opinion. It's not great, but it's not bad. Somewhere around almost good or pretty much in between. Like, I mean, he is a nice figure to look at and can pose pretty well, but still, his value just isn't there for me, as the issues I have just aren't it. Like, the QC issue literally makes me not want to pose this guy anymore, and I honestly probably won't. He's just going to sit on my shelf in a flight pose after this review. And that honestly sucks because I love playing with my figures, but with this guy, I just can't because his arm falling off sucks. And then the fact that he costs $35, the same as other budget SHFs, but comes with less stuff, also sucks me. Like, they could have gave bro another face or something. Instead, they left his box empty and sad, which is a bad look in my opinion. So yeah, I'm in between on this release. If you love the way Egghead Luffy looks, and this is your favorite design for Luffy, then you might like this figure. Now, if you don't have any Luffy action figures and want to start off with one, I would definitely recommend the Romance Dawn Luffy over this one. But it's your money, so you can do what you want. I'm just sharing my experience with this figure, and it's honestly left me disappointed, sadly. But still, as I've said, it's not fully bad, as I have had fun playing with it, just not as much as I could. And that's it for this one, guys. Now, I was going to do a giveaway for this figure, but I'm not anymore, since both of the copies I got stink, and I don't want to give y'all crap. But don't worry, stay tuned for the next review, as I will be giving away something special in that one. But until then, thanks for watching, I really do appreciate your guys' support, and as always, One Piece is on top.